Have you ever felt like life pushed you into a storm so strong that it could drown you at any moment? In those moments, it feels as if everything is slipping away, and you wonder if you have the strength to keep fighting. But what if hidden inside that storm, there was a life jacket, a reason, a purpose, or a person that kept you afloat? Sometimes, the smallest spark of hope can transform unbearable pain into unstoppable strength. Life has a strange way of testing us. Sometimes it feels like everything is falling apart at once, and no matter how hard we try, we cannot catch a break. In those dark hours, when the weight of pain sits heavily on your chest, it's easy to believe that you have been abandoned. But what if, in the middle of that pain, there is a hidden blessing, something or someone quietly placed in your path to remind you that you are not alone? Difficult circumstances may strip you of your strength, but they also reveal the silent helpers life gives you. They may come in the form of friends, mentors, or even unexpected opportunities that act like life jackets, keeping you from sinking completely. Holding on to them is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of courage. For when you grasp these lifelines, you are telling yourself, I refuse to give up. And it is in that decision, in that single act of resilience, that healing begins to take shape. There comes a moment when you realize that the fight is not only against the circumstances around you, but also against the battles within. You wake up each day, and the simplest task, getting out of bed, feels like climbing a mountain. Yet, when someone believes in you, when they refuse to give up on you, it stirs something deep inside. You find yourself thinking, I cannot let them down. And slowly you stand, even if your legs tremble, even if your heart is heavy. That determination is not about perfection, it is about persistence. It is about discovering that even in your weakest state, you still carry the ability to rise. The fight is not for recognition or applause, but for the simple truth that you deserve to live, to breathe, to heal. Every small act of standing up, every moment you choose to keep going, is a victory that pulls you one step further from despair. Many people spend their entire lives searching for validation. Growing up in an environment where love is measured in achievements and worth is questioned, a child often begins to believe they are not enough. Words, especially from those we look up to, cut deep. A single comment, you are not smart enough, or you don't measure up, can become a shadow that follows for years. And when success finally arrives, instead of joy, it brings fear. Fear that people will discover the truth you have believed about yourself all along, that you are unworthy of the love and admiration being given. This insecurity can push you into dangerous spirals, chasing perfection that doesn't exist, and leaving you blind to the progress you have already made. The greatest challenge then becomes not fighting the world, but unlearning the lies planted in you and replacing them with the belief that you are already enough. For years, comparison can poison the mind. You see others taller, more beautiful, more talented, and in their reflection you find your flaws magnified. It feels impossible to match their shine, and so you punish yourself with constant dissatisfaction. But the breakthrough comes when you stop comparing yourself to others and start comparing yourself to your own past. Were you better today than yesterday? Did you take even the smallest step forward? When your only competition is the person you were yesterday, the world begins to look different. The success of others no longer feels like a threat, but a reason to celebrate. Their victories inspire rather than intimidate. And in this shift, a quiet strength grows, the strength of gratitude, self-acceptance, and authentic growth. It is here that true confidence begins, not from being better than someone else, but from becoming a better version of yourself every single day. Surroundings shape us more than we realize. Being around people who only agree, who always say yes, may feel comforting but often halts growth. Real strength comes from being challenged, from hearing no, from being told the truth even when it hurts. Growth is uncomfortable, and it requires courage to face one's flaws. But when you do, when you look back and see how far you have come, you realize something beautiful. You are not the same person anymore. The words you once spoke in doubt no longer define you. The limitations you believed in are now broken. You have come a long way, and the journey itself becomes proof of your resilience. Though the industry, the world, or even the people around you may make you feel small, your growth is undeniable. The person who once believed they could never be strong has already become stronger than they ever imagined. This world often glorifies perfection, but perfection is nothing more than an illusion. The truth is, every scar, every flaw, every failure carries a story that shaped who you are today. Imperfection is not weakness, it is authenticity. The moment you stop chasing an impossible image and begin embracing your reality, you set yourself free. You are no longer bound by the weight of comparison, nor crushed by the pressure of expectations. Instead, you step into a place where mistakes are not punishments, but teachers, guiding you closer to your true self. Accepting your imperfect self does not mean settling. It means recognizing that even in your brokenness, you are worthy of love, respect, and success. Growth happens not in the absence of mistakes, but through them. And the courage to keep moving despite them is what makes you extraordinary. Failure, though painful, is one of life's greatest gifts. Each setback whispers lessons that success often hides. When you stumble, when you make mistakes that feel humiliating or costly, you are being handed the keys to growth. The pain forces you to pay attention, to see what must change, and to rise wiser than before. Without failure, success is fragile, easily shattered by the first challenge. But with failure, success becomes deeply rooted, built upon resilience and wisdom. The people who rise the strongest are not those who never fall, but those who learn to stand again and again. And in time, the falls no longer terrify you, because you understand that every step backward carries the seed of a greater step forward. Failures are not the end of the story. They are chapters that build the strength needed for the triumph waiting ahead. There is a unique kind of healing that comes from passion. When you immerse yourself in what you love, whether it's art, work, or creativity, the world and its problems fade away for a while. In those moments, you are not broken, not weak, not burdened. You are simply present, fully alive. That is the beauty of passion. It allows you to forget your pain long enough to remember your strength. It acts like medicine for the soul, drawing you away from despair and back into possibility. Even if the storm outside still rages, for those few moments you are in control. You give your best, not because everything is perfect, but because your heart finds joy in the act itself. Passion is not just an escape. It is a reminder that you are more than your struggles. It fuels hope, and hope is what makes survival possible. In many spaces, identity is too often defined by others, especially for women. Society has a way of tying their worth to someone else's story. The daughter of, the wife of, or the love interest of. Rarely are women allowed to exist as complete, powerful individuals in their own right. But change begins when someone dares to break that narrative. When a woman steps into a role where she is not defined by the men around her, but by her own journey, it is revolutionary. Representation matters because when people see women leading, achieving, and thriving as independent forces, it reshapes what others believe is possible. Every choice to stand strong, every role that reflects truth and dignity, becomes more than personal success. It becomes a step forward for all women. The responsibility is heavy, but so is the honor of carrying it. Every journey is marked by mistakes, and no path is free from them. Those who succeed without guidance often stumble more, but those stumbles sharpen their vision. Without a mentor, without a godfather, every misstep feels larger, every wound deeper. Yet, in the long run, those very mistakes carve resilience into the soul. You learn not only what to do, but what never to repeat. And while the road is longer, the lessons are unforgettable. They teach humility, they teach patience, and they build a strength that no shortcut could ever give. Looking back, you realize that you would not trade those failures for anything because they made you who you are. They forged a spirit that no storm could break and no rejection could silence. That is the hidden blessing of walking the difficult road. It transforms you into someone unshakable. The most painful battles are the ones fought in silence. You smile in front of the world, yet behind closed doors, you wrestle with doubts that no one can see. The voices in your head whisper lies. You're not good enough, you'll never be enough. And when you believe those lies, they eat away at your strength. But silence also hides another truth. Within you lives a resilience that even you may not fully recognize. Each day you survive those inner storms, you grow stronger. Your silence is not weakness, it is endurance. And when the time comes, you will rise and speak with a voice shaped by every battle you fought alone. That voice will not only set you free, but also give hope to others walking through their own shadows, reminding them they are not alone in their pain. There comes a shift in perspective when you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" Pain loses some of its power when you see it as a teacher instead of a punishment. Every heartbreak, every failure, every rejection contains wisdom wrapped in suffering. It may take months or even years to recognize it, but the lessons always reveal themselves. And once they do, the pain transforms into strength. You begin to see that your scars are not signs of defeat, but proof that you endured, that you are still standing. Life is not about avoiding pain, but about transforming it. And when you embrace that truth, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you become unshakable. You no longer fear the storm because you understand it is shaping you into someone stronger. Comparison has a way of stealing joy, but gratitude restores it. When you constantly look at others, measuring your life against theirs, you will always find a reason to feel less. But when you shift your gaze inward and count the progress you've made, gratitude blooms. Gratitude is not denial of pain. It is the recognition that even in suffering, there are blessings worth holding on to. A supportive friend, a moment of peace, the ability to try again. These small gifts become anchors that ground you. Gratitude softens the sharp edges of hardship and gives you the courage to keep moving. And as you practice it, your perspective changes. Instead of resenting the journey, you begin to respect it. Instead of seeing only what you lack, you start seeing how much you've grown. Gratitude turns what you have into enough. And enough is powerful. Every dream worth chasing demands sacrifice. You cannot carry old fears and expect to climb new heights. The path forward asks for courage. The courage to release the past, to silence the doubts, and to step into the unknown with faith. It is not about being fearless. It is about acting despite the fear. Courage does not mean you don't shake. It means you walk anyway. And with each step, fear loses its grip. You discover that your strength lies not in avoiding the challenges, but in facing them head on. Every sacrifice, every long night, every risk, every failure becomes a brick that builds your foundation. And as you look back, you realize that the very things you thought would break you have prepared you for the life you once thought was impossible. That is the price of growth, and it is worth every tear, every stumble, every fight. Sometimes life forces you into roles you never imagined yourself in. You might say, "I could never do that." And yet, when the moment comes, you find yourself stepping into it with surprising strength. Doubt once convinced you that you were not capable, but experience proves otherwise. Looking back at the words you once spoke in fear, you realize how far you've come. The person who once thought they could never endure hardship has now endured it all. The one who thought they could never lead now inspires others. Growth often hides in the very places we resist. And once you face them, you outgrow the old version of yourself completely. It's in those moments you realize the truth. You are far stronger than you ever gave yourself credit for. Life may have tested you, but those tests have already shaped you into someone powerful, resilient, and unbreakable. In a world that constantly tells you to be more successful, more beautiful, more perfect, it takes real courage to simply be yourself. Authenticity is an act of rebellion. It means showing up as you are, with your flaws, your scars, and your truth, even when the world expects a polished mask. And here is the secret: authenticity is magnetic. People are not inspired by perfection, they are inspired by honesty. When you choose to live with authenticity, You create space for others to do the same. You remind them that it is okay to be imperfect, to be vulnerable, to be human. And in a society built on comparison, that is the greatest gift you can offer. The world does not need another flawless image. It needs more real stories, more real voices, more real courage. Every season of life has its own lessons. The painful seasons teach resilience, the quiet seasons teach patience, and the joyful seasons teach gratitude. Together, they form the chapters of a story uniquely yours. You cannot skip chapters, no matter how much you wish to. Painful or not, each one is necessary. The heartbreaks, the failures, the victories, they all shape your character. And one day, when you look back, you will see how the dots connect. The setbacks you thought would end you actually redirected you. The rejections you cried over saved you from paths that weren't meant for you. Every season has purpose. Even when you cannot see it, life is weaving meaning into the chaos. Trust that one day the broken pieces will come together and you will understand why it had to happen the way it did. Resilience is not built in comfort. It is forged in fire. The strongest people you know are not the ones who had it easy, but the ones who endured the storm and kept walking. They did not escape pain, they survived it. And in surviving, they became stronger than they ever imagined. Resilience is the ability to bend without breaking, to be knocked down and still rise again. It is not about ignoring the wounds, but about refusing to let them define you. Each time you rise after falling, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than the pain that tried to destroy you. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is something you build, step by step, choice by choice. And the more you practice it, the more unshakable you become. Success is often misunderstood. Many believe it is about applause, fame, or wealth. But true success lies in growth, becoming better than who you were yesterday. It is about progress, not perfection. When you measure success through the eyes of others, it becomes fragile, easily shattered by criticism. But when you define success for yourself, by your own standards, your own values, it becomes unshakable. True success is silent. It is in the discipline of getting up when no one is watching, in the courage of staying true to your principles, in the quiet victories that no one else celebrates but you. Success is not a destination but a journey. And the only person you should compete with is the one you were yesterday. In that competition, every small step forward is a triumph. The road to growth is never straight. It is filled with twists, detours, and moments when you question if you should even continue. But those detours often lead to the most meaningful destinations. The failures you once cursed become blessings in disguise. The delays you resented turn out to be protection. The moments you thought were endings were actually beginnings. Life has a way of using the unexpected to shape us. What feels like chaos now may later be revealed as the very thing that prepared you for greatness. Trust the process even when it makes no sense. The road may be messy, but it is leading you somewhere greater than you can imagine. And when you finally arrive, you will realize that every setback was simply a step forward in disguise. One of the hardest truths to accept is that not everyone will understand your journey. Some will doubt you, others will criticize you, and many will fail to see your vision. And that's okay. You are not here to convince everyone. You are here to honor your purpose. When you begin to live for validation, you lose yourself. But when you live in alignment with your truth, the right people will find you. The ones who support you, challenge you, and believe in you. Their presence becomes fuel, reminding you that you do not need the whole world's approval to succeed. You only need courage, consistency, and faith in your own path. The more you grow, the more you realize that success is not about pleasing everyone, but about staying true to yourself. Even when the crowd doesn't cheer, fear is a powerful liar. It convinces you that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable. It whispers that failure will break you, that rejection will crush you. But fear is only strong when you listen to it. The moment you act despite fear, its power dissolves. Courage does not silence fear. It simply refuses to obey it. Every bold step you take, every time you move forward even with trembling hands, You weaken fear's grip on your life. And with each act of bravery, confidence grows. You realize that fear was never proof of your weakness. It was proof of your potential. Because the things you fear most are often the very things that will transform you. The key is not to wait until you are fearless, but to move forward, even while fear tries to hold you back. Strength is not only found in victories, but also in vulnerability. The courage to admit, I'm struggling or I need help, is as powerful as standing tall after success. Too often, people mistake vulnerability for weakness, but it is the opposite. It takes immense strength to open your heart, to be real about your pain, and to let others see your truth. Vulnerability connects us, reminding us that no one is truly alone in their struggles. And when we open up, we not only heal ourselves, but also give others permission to do the same. In a world where everyone hides behind masks of perfection, choosing to be real is a revolutionary act. It is through vulnerability that we build trust, find authentic connections, and discover that even in our lowest moments, we are never truly alone. Looking back on your journey, you begin to see how every hardship carried hidden blessings. The struggles that once felt unbearable shaped your resilience. The failures that broke your heart redirected your path. The insecurities that haunted you pushed you to grow. What once felt like punishment now shines as preparation. Life was never against you, it was preparing you. And the proof is who you are today, stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than you ever imagined. You no longer see your scars as shameful. You see them as proof of survival. Every challenge was a stepping stone, every setback a hidden teacher. And now, as you stand taller, you understand that none of it was wasted. Every single moment mattered. Every piece of your story was necessary to shape the person you have become. The journey of growth is never simple. It is messy, painful, and full of unexpected turns. But it is also beautiful, because in the process, you discover your strength, your worth, and your purpose. You learn that storms do not come to destroy you, but to awaken you. You learn that failure is not the end, but the foundation of success. And most importantly, you learn that you are enough, not because of what the world says, but because of who you are. Every scar, every fall, every rise has shaped you into someone unshakable. And this is the truth no matter how heavy the storm. There is always a life jacket of hope waiting for you. You just have to see it, hold on to it, and keep moving forward. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and visit our channel for more inspiring stories that remind you of your strength, resilience, and worth.